Hello and welcome to EJbitS. Here we have the Inkbird IHT-1S digital handheld food thermometer, which you can purchase on Lazada Mall. This is the price on screen. It is 100% authentic and it also comes with 1-year seller warranty. So this video will have many parts: the unboxing, build quality, how to use, as well as cooking with chicken, steak, and fish to fully test out this product. So make sure to stay until the end. Here we have the actual product. Unboxing experience is very good with bubble wrap all around it, so the product is safe. No broken parts or pieces here. The product looks good with its nice and bright orange color. Here we have the instruction manual. One of the notable features is that it has waterproof rating of IP67, which means that you can definitely wash this device with water and it won't really be broken. Here we have its charging cable, USB-C, which is really good. And the charging, I will show you how to charge this device later. It also comes with a small screwdriver. And that's all inside this package. So now let's move on to the actual design of the product. It looks really good with its all plastic build with silicone gray bits. The probe is made of purely metal and the screen has some sort of light on it and a protective film. From the sound of the product, it sounds quite rigid and the build quality is really good, intact, even though it's made of plastic. Here we have the instructions for that one button we have in the front of the device. If you short press it, it will hold the temperature readout for you to properly read it. Once you hold it for 8 seconds, you can change it from Celsius to Fahrenheit. And if you hold for an additional 2 seconds, you will enter the calibration mode. And just follow these calibration instructions until it resets to 0. And that's what we are looking for. The LCD screen has, a nice orange light display, as you can see here. And now we move on to the calibration stage. But before that, let's change from Fahrenheit to Celsius, since that's what we will be using for today. We can see the CF on the screen. Click it once and wait for it to register C. Now we move on to the CA, or the calibration. We can see here that you can click the button for the temperature to rise. And as we can see here, the temperature goes to negative. And we will just set this to 0. I don't really want to mess up the temperatures. There we go. So now that's our process done. The hold button, you just have to click it once, just a short press for it to hold the temperature readout for you. And this rotating probe automatically turns off or turns on the device, which is really good. Now, if you ask how to charge the device using the USB-C cable, here we have a screwdriver. Since it has, a nice waterproof seal, IP67 rating, all of these, it's made of silicone, which means that no water will enter the device. You just need to screw it in properly, charge the device, and it's ready to go. Now we are almost ready to move on to the next part of our video, which is the cooking test. Here we start with chicken. So chicken safe cooking temperature when the chicken is fully cooked is 73.9 degrees Celsius. And depending on the source, the temperature also varies. But first we start with chicken breast. So this is chicken breast and we push it down to the pan so that we have a nice crispy outside skin. That's what we are looking for in chicken. Nice and glistening, not overcooked to the point where the chicken is dry. This is why the thermometer is really helpful. You don't want to overcook your chicken. You also don't want to undercook your chicken. Very important. Now we add some rosemary. Unfortunately, as you can see here, we are using dried rosemary. We don't have fresh rosemary, so I hope that that's something available in the future. We add our butter and we start basting the chicken until it registers a really good internal temperature. So we proceed with this basting process, and as you can see here, I unfolded the chicken breast. It's now more flat in the pan. The skin is nice and crispy. We rotate the probe, insert the probe tip, which is made of metal, into the chicken, into the thickest part of the chicken, and now 75 degrees Celsius. The chicken is fully cooked, and we can now turn off the flame. Some carry over cooking from when the chicken was resting, so it's a little bit overcooked, just a little bit, but it's still better than, undercooked chicken. We can see that the chicken is glistening. Usually, chicken breast is difficult to cook as it dries easily. But let's have a taste of this chicken breast with the skin on, which is very important. It tastes really good. And of course, we put salt and pepper, which makes the chicken really, really stand out. Now we move on to our sirloin steak. We can see here that the meat is really lean, which makes it, usually tough to cook. So the process here was to sear the fat cap just to, render some of the fat there. But before this was actually done, this thick piece of meat was dry brined in the refrigerator for 1 day before cooking. So that's, you put salt on top of the steak and let it stay in the refrigerator uncovered for 1 day. It makes the steak very, very soft. Here we have the steak medium rare temperature, top left of the screen. That's 55 to 60 degrees Celsius. Again, carry overheating. Once you remove the hot piece of meat from the pan, it will still cook itself very slowly. And as you can see right here, we've added our rosemary and butter, and we will start basting this steak on our Happy Call pan, which I have reviewed in this top right portion of the screen. Now let's take a look at the temperature. It quickly rises to 62 degrees Celsius. As you can see, that's also one of the benefits of the Inkbird digital thermometer. It's really fast at giving you the temperatures, which means that you can make the steak rest for quite a while. Perfect medium rare, as you can see. Some scorched parts of the meat, the gray parts, since the pan is very hot and we didn't put this steak in the oven. It's all pan seared all the way. But still, we have a nice pinkish center thanks to our Inkbird thermometer. Perfectly cooked. Now let's have a taste of this steak. Again, we have a nice golden brown crust outside, but we are more concerned in the inside and how it tastes. Let's have a taste, and it tastes really, really good. Very beefy flavor. Before we move on to our salmon, here we have a piece of ribeye. It's very thin, so the ribeye cooks really fast, and we can see, really thick chunks of fat. So our priority is to render that fat down. And we baste our steak. So this cooks really fast since it's very thin. If the ribeye was thicker, we could have cooked it to an even more perfect medium rare. But again, we are still going for the same temperature. We can see 56 degrees on one side, 54 on another side, and on the hottest part, it's almost more than 70, which means that it is perfectly cooked. Before I cut into that steak, let's wait for it to rest. Let's create our pan sauce. With mushrooms here, garlic, onions, the white part of the leeks. We are just tossing the pan just to maximize that heat. We have beef broth, very important, beef broth, and also some cream. Now we are ready to serve our ribeye steak, which is more tender than the sirloin steak. We have the sauce here, which should be more thick once we wait for the sauce to rest a little bit, but this was the fresh sauce and it tastes really, really good. Nice amount of fat from the ribeye and it tastes really beefy. Now let's take a look at the inside temperature. A little bit medium well to well done, but still nice pinkish center, which is really good. Now we move on to our fish dish, the salmon. Medium rare temperature is 49 degrees Celsius. The salmon is seared skin side down with salt and pepper on both sides. We want that golden brown skin, which is very crispy. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and also the notification bell. That's very, very important so that you see all of our future videos and reviews. Now let's wait for this salmon to cook. Not all the way through. We just want to have a nice golden brown reaction on both sides of the salmon. Very quick cooking. This is not yet fully cooked inside. Now we move on to our pan sauce, which is cream, honey, butter, as well as some spinach. So this is a very nice sauce. Very simple to make also. And we put our salmon inside to make sure that they register a really good internal temperature of, let's take a look right here, 49 degrees Celsius. As we can see here, it goes a little bit over, but that's not a problem. We can see here 52 degrees Celsius, so that's really good. Now let's move on to the inside of the salmon. Not so crispy skin anymore since we placed it inside of the sauce, but it's still satisfying to eat. Let's take a look at the thickest part of the salmon. Let's see if it's cooked nicely inside. Nice and flaky, nice and pinkish color from the inside. Really good. This is a perfectly cooked salmon. How about the other side of the salmon? It looks really perfect and very delicious and creamy. And this thermometer is to thank for all of the perfect cooking I've shown you today. Really good quality, and it also shows you the temperature really fast. 2 to 3 seconds, it instantly shows you the temperature, which is really good. Overall, I rate this product 10 out of 10. It's very straightforward. It's a thermometer, but I think it's really worth it. And it's also rechargeable. That's all for today's video. Amazing product and more videos to come in the future. So don't forget to click the subscribe button and turn on all notifications for our channel. That's all. Thank you so much and see you next time.